Your AI agent just made the same mistake it made 3 days ago. Same input, same wrong output, same failure, as if nothing ever happened. That's not a model problem. That's a memory problem. And until now, almost no open source tool was treating it seriously. Anamnesis is a memory engine built specifically for AI agents. Not a vector database. Not a chat history log. A structured system that gives agents a fourth dimension, time. It doesn't just store what happened, it stores when it happened, why the agent made that decision, and how relevant that memory should be right now. Here's what that looks like in practice. You have an agent that helps a team manage project deadlines. A week ago, it misjudged a dependency chain and gave a bad estimate. With standard memory, or no memory at all, next week it does the same thing. With Anamnesis, that failure event is stored with a timestamp, a causal tag explaining what went wrong, and a decay weight that keeps it highly relevant for weeks. The agent doesn't just remember the mistake. It understands when it happened and why it should still care. The memory architecture is built around 4 axes. What? The content of the memory, stored as a vector embedding. When? The exact timestamp, which feeds into a temporal decay function. Recent memories stay hot, old ones fade unless they were high impact. Why? A structured causal field that links the memory to the decision that produced it. And a fourth layer, strategic weight. How much should this memory influence future behavior? That last one is what makes this different from just slapping a timestamp on a vector store. But here's the thing, setup is genuinely lightweight. The core library is Python, integrates with LangChain and LlamaIndex, and you can point it at an existing Postgres or SQLite backend. You're not rebuilding your stack. You're adding a memory layer on top of what you already have. What surprised me was how fast a basic agent starts behaving differently. In a simple test loop, an agent running without Anamnesis repeated a formatting error 5 times in a row. Same agent, same task, Anamnesis enabled, it flagged the error pattern by the 3rd iteration and adjusted. That's not magic. That's structured recall with temporal context doing exactly what it's supposed to. Now, what Anamnesis does not do, and being honest here matters, it does not make your agent smarter. It makes it less forgetful. Those are different things. If your underlying model makes bad reasoning decisions, Anamnesis won't fix that. It gives the agent better raw material to reason with, but the reasoning itself still depends on your LLM. It also doesn't handle multi-agent memory sharing out of the box. If you have 5 agents that need a shared memory pool, a coordination layer where Agent A's experience informs Agent B, you'll need to build it yourself on top of the API. The project acknowledges this. It's on the roadmap, but it's not there yet. And persistence across very long time horizons, months of agent operation, creates memory bloat if you're not actively pruning. The decay functions help, but you'll want to set explicit retention policies for production use. This is a real operational concern, not a deal breaker, but something to plan for. What could this realistically become? The temporal memory layer is genuinely the missing piece for autonomous agent pipelines that run continuously, things like monitoring agents, long-horizon research assistants, or automated support systems that handle recurring issues. If the multi-agent memory sharing lands in a stable release, you're looking at a coordination primitive that most enterprise agent frameworks are still hacking together with custom code. There's also an interesting fit with compliance-heavy domains. If an agent needs to explain why it made a decision 6 weeks ago, a structured causal memory log is actually auditable in a way that a vector similarity score never is. That's not speculation, that's a direct consequence of how the why field is structured. So why does this exist? The creator, who ships this under Gaia Wellness, which is an unusual org name for a developer tool, but here we are, was building AI agents for operational workflows and kept hitting the same wall. Agents that forgot. Agents that repeated errors. Agents that couldn't distinguish between a mistake made yesterday and one made 6 months ago that is no longer relevant. The standard answer from the ecosystem was use a vector store. But vector stores don't have time. They don't have causality. They're a filing cabinet, not a memory. Anamnesis is the attempt to build the actual memory. It's early, it's open source under MIT license, and it's genuinely solving a real problem that every agent developer runs into eventually. If you're building agents that run for more than a single session, this is worth the integration time. If your agents are stateless one-shot pipelines, you don't need it yet, but you might sooner than you think. Next episode we're looking at another open-source project in the agent infrastructure space, one that handles the other half of this problem, not what agents remember, but what they decide to do next. Subscribe so you don't miss it.